Hi everyone. So this is the first video of 5 days of I Am. I'm super excited to start this video blog journey. I don't make videos often or ever really because I find them extremely awkward. So this is real life, so bear with me here. Um, Today I wanted to talk about this idea of living as somebody who knows that they're loved, living from a place of um, knowing that you're already loved by God and you don't have to work for it. You don't have to be a certain person or look a certain way or anything like that to know that you're loved. And um, I work with children at a daycare, and I see a lot of the time, a lot of the kids act very differently when their parents come and pick them up than when they do when they're with us. Good or bad, you can see a dramatic change or dramatic difference in the way that they act and the things that they do. And I thought about that the other day, and I thought about how a lot of these kids and their parents have said at home they're completely different, and it's because they know that there's nothing, especially the preschoolers, that they know that they can make a mistake and they can, whatever they're going to do, they know their parents are always going to be there, and they know they're always going to love them no matter what. And it's the same with God, and it's so simple, it's so easy, and yet we forget it so often, that there's nothing you can do that can separate you from God's love. There's nothing that you've done in your past. There's no mistakes. There's no anything in your life that is going to change his love for you, that's going to change the fact that he already gave everything for you and for me. John 3:16, it's one of the foundational verses of the Christian faith, and it says in John 3:16 that God so loved the world that he gave. So right in the beginning, they're just saying it from the start, that he loved us so much that he chose to give. And I thought about that, and thought about how it's right there in Scripture. He's explaining to us how much and how reliant and constant his love is, but how often and how many times do, even in my own life, where I see people walking and living in a way of such lovelessness, and I had to go on this journey myself, and figuring that out. And truth is that you can't understand how much somebody else loves you until you can love yourself. And so I started this this movement, or whatever you want to call it. I started the I Am collection. It started with jewelry. I started to engrave words on scrap jewelry, like loved and chosen and stuff like that, and I started to wear them. And people are always observing what you have on and what you look like. It's just the society that we live in. And so I had lots of people say, oh, what does your necklace say? Oh, loved. And constantly I realized throughout the day that I was being reminded that I was loved. And whatever was written on my necklace, people would say those things to me, and it was a great reminder for me. And so I started the I Am collection with that hope, to really encourage women, young girls, girls of all ages, to be able to speak those truths over themselves. And I was very intentional of calling it I Am instead of You Are, because I found that in a lot of my life I spent so much time waiting for people to tell me who I was or who I wasn't, and waiting for people to encourage me, but I didn't know how to do it myself. And so the purpose of I Am is to train up a generation of women who are confident and can look at themselves in the mirror and say, I am loved, I am chosen, I am enough, I am perfectly made by the Father, and to begin to declare those truths over yourself, because it doesn't matter how many times people say things to you, or if you don't believe it for yourself, then it doesn't matter. Because when you wake up in the morning and all day, from the time you wake up, from the time that you go to bed, your mind is constantly playing thoughts, negative or positive, but for women, especially in the society with Instagram and Facebook and so many more avenues to compare yourself, it doesn't take very long. The opportunities are there for you to compare yourself. And so in your mind, you're constantly wondering, well, I don't look like her, or I don't have that, or I don't drive that car, and so your brain is constantly replaying these negative thoughts that you have to be intentional about changing those things. And you have to be intentional about creating new positive pathways in your mind, and to be able to walk in the truth and the confidence that God has for you. And so that's the purpose of these 5 days. It's just to help you, just to give you a quick reminder of who God has made you to be, who He's created you to be. And so I believe that truly starts with knowing how loved you truly are, and that you're not living from a place of lack. You're not living from a place of you're starved for love, but you can walk and you can live in a place of knowing that you're already loved by the Father, and nothing is going to change that. And so I hope these little quick videos can be reminders for you each day this week, to take control of your own identity, your own confidence, and to be able to look at yourself and say, I am loved. And so I hope you're reminded of that today, to know that you're loved regardless of the mistakes you've made, the choices that you've made, or the past that you have, that God sees you for who you are, who He has created you to be, and that He loves you the way that you are. He already knew the person that you would be. He's not shocked, by the mistakes that you've made or the things that you've done. He already knew, when He chose you. And so I just hope that that's encouraging to you today, and I hope that you can walk in that confidence today, knowing that you are loved, and be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am loved. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.